So can I ask your name?
Kash Jackson.
Kash Jackson. Hey Kash, you're down here, down at the Capitol area. Tell me what you're here for. You protesting or something?
No, actually I'm not protesting. What I'm doing is exercising my constitutional and God-given rights for redress with my government and to continue to serve the American people in the best way I know how, and that's by protecting their constitutional and human rights to parent their children. I feel that this country has went too long, for far too long, profiting off the destruction of our families, and I took upon myself that it's high time it stopped.
So is this something that you've experienced personally then?
Absolutely it has.
Can you give us a couple of details?
Yes, certainly. So I started my divorce back in 2012, summer of 2012. I filed for divorce. The day after I filed for, the day before I filed for divorce, my ex-wife filed an order of protection. She filed an order of protection because the day before that, I said I was going to file for divorce. And I got hit with a silver bullet. I got hit with an order of protection. Lots of allegations, never went through criminal court,
So what you're saying is that she filed false allegations against you?
That's correct. So she filed a fraudulent claim against me that resulted in an order of protection. That ultimately negatively impacted my Navy career. I was at my 18-year mark in the Navy at that time, and we'd been geographically separated for 2 years. So kind of went down a downward spiral like a lot of parents do. I went through a bad depression. I attempted suicide on 2 occasions, and had really lost my entire will to live.
So you said it affected your Navy career as well. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Well, I had to undergo an investigation by the military because those allegations would be criminal in nature. But what she filed with the United States Navy was really, she left out 90% of what she had put to get the order of protection. So in her order of protection, she had claimed sexual abuse, physical abuse, mental abuse, emotional abuse, child abuse, really anything and everything that you could allege, minus molestation of my children, she had claimed. And with the Navy, the only thing that she claimed with the Navy was emotional abuse, and that was it. So stark contrast in her claims there.
But now you are retired from the Navy right now.
I'm retired. I retired 31 August was my official last day in the Navy as an active duty service member. In September 2016, I officially became a United States Navy veteran.
You were honorably discharged then?
I am an honorably discharged 20-year Navy veteran.
So none of the charges stuck?
No, there was never any criminal charges came forth from the Navy. The Navy investigated her claims of emotional abuse. A full committee formed that held a hearing on the allegations, and they were all unfounded.
So what is your relationship with your children like right now?
My children love me very much, but unfortunately, like many other parents, I continue to experience parental alienation. I've been on the road for going on, it'll be 3 weeks by the time I return home on September 14th. I'll have been gone for 3 weeks, and I haven't spoken to my children since I left.
I've spoken with people. I find that this is very, very common. It seems like every time I turn around and talk with somebody, 1 or 2 people have a story, or they know somebody, or it's happened to them. So that's kind of what you're saying is going on right now.
Absolutely. So many parents, like my father standing here next to me that I was speaking with a few moments ago, has been alienated from his children for years. And that is something that you can never get back as a person. It's not something you can pay to compensate for. There's no making up for lost memories. There's no making up for not having the ability to raise and parent your children. That's a human right.
So are you right now trying to raise awareness? Are you trying to get something changed in law? What exactly are you doing here today?
A couple things I'm looking to accomplish by being here today. One was to bring some of the most motivated people in this movement together. We are so fractured as a movement that we have all of these individual groups working on individual goals. And I thought that if we could collectively come together as the most intelligent and most motivated individuals in this movement underneath one banner and move in one forward direction, we could push the mountain over. And that's exactly what we're up against. This is a David versus Goliath movement. And so we need all of us going in one forward direction, not 50 different directions.
So when you say all of us, is this primarily a men's movement?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. definitely not primarily a man's movement. Men have, statistically speaking, on paper, men have been more adversely affected because we were the primary breadwinners for so many years. But again, even those men go on to move into a future relationship where they have a girlfriend or a wife, somebody who supports them, and then those women too are now affected of what's occurring to their loved one. So they're directly affected. They feel helpless in this movement where, they can provide limited assistance to us in what's occurring to us. But there's a lot of moms now. The system has caught on to the fact that women are in the workforce and women are now breadwinners and they're career-oriented and career-minded. And so they're now beginning to exploit women the same way that they've exploited men. And if we don't act now, we're not going to be able to prevent what's happened to fathers for so many years.
So I've heard you say, I've heard something about Title 4D or the Social Security Act. Could you give me tell me a little bit more about that?
Certainly, it's pretty simple. It's kind of it's an incentive to the state courts, to all 50 states. They have a financial incentive through what's known as Title 4D and E of the Social Security Act. Title 4D provides federal funding to a state court. So for a state court to justify a child support order, they must take a parent, most often the father, they take that parent and reduce them down to a visitor. And then when they do that, that justifies a child support order. For every dollar that they spend in child support enforcement, they receive federal funding through Title 4D of the Social Security Act. So through that funding, the states are able to take that money and apply it to their general funds. And oftentimes they're utilizing this funding because it's hundreds of millions of dollars. They're using this funding to balance their state budgets.
So what you're telling me then is that states are actually profiting from the destruction of families and from exiling you as a father?
100%. Exactly right.
It's hard to have a limited government when you have a nation of fractured families, and kids do deserve to have a relationship with both parents without one parent alienating another. Just want to thank you so much for your time. Thank you for your efforts. We wish you all the best. God bless you.
Thank you, sir.